Hi, it's Max from Handheld Gaming. A lot of YouTubers say everybody's requested this video. Well, I can quite honestly say nobody has requested this video, but it's our room tour 2019. The reason I've done it is because they're my favourite kind of videos. I love watching them, so everybody have a look, see what you think, and tell us in the comments what you reckon. Cheers! Let's start in the landing area between the two games rooms. So this is where the handhelds are, and you can see my retro game magazines. They're the ones I've read, and as you can see I've got quite a pile that I haven't read yet, which is bad. Maybe in the next couple of decades I might catch up sometime, but I don't have subscriptions, so it's going to take a little while and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. But anyway, here's the handhelds. So that the back one there's pink DS Lite, donated by my niece. That's the black DS. Then you've got a normal 3DS, and that one there is the new 3DS. Oh, is that hang on, that one there? Sorry, that's the 3DS XL, I think it is, and that's the new 3DS XL, which has this the little thumbstick type thing on it. And at the front there we've got Game Boy Advance SP. Best handheld ever for me. That one, the Game Boy Micro. Love it. The size of it is just absolutely awesome. Then you've got the original DS. I actually got that a couple of weeks before it got released in the UK, I think. So being a member of the Nintendo club, I used a lot of my points and got that one early, and I mean at the time it was awesome. Then you got a Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy Color. So that one there is a JXD 7800, I think it is, which is a tablet, and like a gaming tablet. It is actually quite good. I've used it before, and it runs a lot of the emulators on really well. And that is garbage. The Smart Boy. Got it extremely cheaply one day from some website, and it's trash. But anyway, let's move on. So we've got the Neo Geo Pocket, which is excellent. That one, before smartphones were popular, you could do all these fancy things on it, run emulators. That was the GP2X, which at the time was awesome, to be honest. You could run MAME on it and all that kind of thing. But nowadays it's just it's a bit sluggish and slow, to be honest. But anyway, there's the Game Gear. WonderSwan Crystal. I think it's the colour one as well. This out there, all these handhelds. This one suffered terribly with their discoloration. It was obviously brand new in mint when I first got it. Maybe it's one of the things I should have kept in the box, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. But anyway, let's move on then. So then we've got, that's the original PSP. You can't really tell on the camera, but it's quite thick and chunky. That's the original one, whatever the model that is, I'm not sure, with a little PSP camera on top. And there's the newer model with the camera on top. The two lads used to like playing Invisimals when they were younger, so they obviously use that camera to interact with certain things. It was quite fun, I guess. And there's the PlayStation Vita, which we've only got a few games for that, but it's absolutely excellent. I should really do something about that. And finally, out on the landing here, there's those pictures by an artist called Dave White, who my wife is a massive fan of. She got a couple of shark pictures, which were quite expensive, but lo and behold, a couple of years later, he decided to do these special covers for the Edge 25th anniversary covers. So we can see down here, I've got 2 box sets of the magazines, well, different covers. One of them I've had to cannibalise for that picture, and the other one I've kept a brand new set of 25th anniversary, which is quite nice. But I would never justify spending the amount that my wife has in those pictures, but that was a cheaper alternative, and I think it looks lovely framed there. But anyway, that's the landing. Right, let's move through into games room 1 then. So I should shut the door to stop noisy teenagers shouting at me. Anyway, here we go. So have a quick spin around just so you can see. You'll notice there's quite a lot of screens. Let's get the zoom back in, there we go. Quite a lot of screens. Because I love having friends around, playing multiplayer, everyone having a go on something different. So I see games rooms where there's one TV in the middle of the wall, which I think is fantastic, don't get me wrong. But I like a less cluttered view, so I've got loads of boxes for all these consoles, but they're all tucked away nice and tidy in the loft. So anyway, let's start. So right in this corner we have the Vectrex. Got a decent amount of games for this, but unfortunately none of the screen overlays, which is a shame because I think it really adds something when you're playing with the Vectrex. Anyway, let's move down. That was from, oh, which one was that one? That was Killzone 3, was it, I think? The special edition came with that. Looks quite nice, it just sits on top of the subwoofer. Let's move along. Oh, that's one of my old karate trophies. So this is the first unit then. That is, let me think, is that about a 29-inch Sony Trinitron CRT, which at the moment, let's hope the light picks it up. You can see an Atari 2600, which is our original one from when we were kids, and under that you might not be able to see, but there's a PlayStation 2. Right, so let's talk about the 2600. We initially got that one as a prize when my brother sent in a story about my grandfather from the D-Day landings. He did something extremely brave, which he got a medal for, and he told the story when we were kids. And it was Battle magazine, and we actually won that. So I mean, at the time, that would probably be the equivalent of winning an Xbox One X. It was absolutely amazing. We couldn't believe we'd won this Atari. We were so pleased because we couldn't really afford stuff like that at the time. But anyway. And underneath that is a PlayStation 2, which I only use on this screen for light gun games. It's a lovely big screen for the light gun, and which you talk about later, there is another PS2, which you check out some of our other videos. We link the 2 PS2s together. 2-player Time Crisis 2 and 3 is fantastic. Now in these little drawers, oh, look at all that. Lots and lots of remote controls, which you need when you've got that many devices in this room. Let's close that. And like I said, I like things neat and tidy, so I would consider this is probably the only messy drawer really, but it's not really that messy. Just lots of different wires and chargers, but I've got them all in Ziploc bags, so anytime I can lift it out and just use whichever wires I need. Good idea, which lots of other YouTubers do. Anyway, let's move on. So, well, look at this Iron Man. Let's see if it still works. My friend bought me this as a Secret Santa many years ago. I can't even find the switch. Oh, there it is. Oh, there he is. Iron Man does indeed light up. How cool. Let's switch it back off. Right, so then this is what I would consider sort of one of the spare TVs. It's about, I think it's a 42-incher. It's a full HD 1080p, and it's also a 3D TV as well, but I haven't actually used that side of it. And on the top there, that's our Amiibo collection. Nothing terribly dramatic, just standard stuff. That was quite nice from Nintendo Club when they used to do things like that. That was a sort of presentation box for the Amiibo with Meta Knight inside it. And inside this unit we have the original Xbox Crystal, which is soft modded. I have it connected via component, so it allows all HD settings for certain games. Then on the left hand side, on the bottom, got a spare Xbox One, and above that a spare Xbox 360. Again, as mentioned before, for multiplayer fun. There's our Hellboy Garden, one of the big floor standard speakers. That was a gift for Tommy for Christmas many years ago, and when he first got it, he unfortunately picked it up by the tail and snapped his tail off. And it's such a wonderful collectible, it seems such a shame, so I repaired the tail, glued it back on, and he's sat guarding that speaker ever since up in the games room. Anyway, there we go. So let's pan out again a little bit. That's the main 55-inch TV in the middle of the wall. Again, if you look at some of the previous videos, I've recently had this room refurbished, all the cables hid in the wall, which I like, nice and tidy. With the Space Invaders, it's how can I describe it? It's like a sort of canvas box art, I guess. Can you see the sort of depth on the side there? So let's just move across quickly, and you can see the other one, the other side is a Gears of War box art, whatever you want to call it, canvas. Anyway, let's come back over here. So that is a 4K Samsung TV, and in this cabinet, let's have a quick look, see if we can zoom in. We've got on the top left a white Xbox One, below it an Xbox 360, then you've got a normal white PlayStation 4, and below it, it's difficult to see in the cabinet, but there is a Nintendo Wii U, the 32GB model. Beside that we have the Virtual Boy. Got a couple of games for it, and I like it actually, but when you consider nowadays we've got the PlayStation VR, you do get a certain VR sort of element to it, but it's not exactly what I would call a proper virtual game. But anyway, at the time it was good. And beside that we have the Kinect for the Xbox One, the Kinect for the Xbox 360, and the Atari Lynx, which one of my big regrets. I bought that when I was first started working. Got it quite close to the release, and the only time ever I've bought an official bag, I guess it is, a carry bag for the game. So what did I do? Stupidly threw the box out for the Lynx and for the box for all the games, which I've never done that before, and I've regretted it ever since. But there you go, some stupid thing, just purely because I got a bag. Anyway, that's the main TV, which you might be able to see me in reflection. Hello. Let's move down here in this unit. So middle unit we have top left. That is my day one edition Xbox One. You can actually see anything showing that on the actual Xbox One itself, but it did come with a little achievement that you could get for being day one edition owner. Anyway, I used that, and underneath it is the Star Wars edition of the Xbox 360, which let me just put some power on. I have everything switched off all the time. Put some power on it just so you can hear it, which is quite cool. Here we go, you ready? Turn it on. And different one for a jet, listen. How good is that? Turn it off. Absolutely love that. And obviously beside it is the HD DVD drive, which was excellent when I first got it. It's a shame they couldn't have put it inside the Xbox, but obviously that's where they lost out big style of the PlayStation 3 at the time, because that had the Blu-ray player inside. But anyway, and turn on the PlayStation 3. There's a PlayStation 3 there, which is the slim model. Below it is what I use predominantly for my two floor stand speakers and the subwoofer. It's a TIAC DVD player, which I've got accordion, so it's actually multi-region. Years ago I used to buy a lot of multi-region DVDs, so I can watch them up here now, like American discs, that kind of thing. And there is the Batman cartoon, which I'm currently watching. Bit of reminiscing from when I used to watch it with when my kids were young. So that's that one, that's TIAC, that's quite nice. Use it as an amp also for some of the other gaming systems, which we come to in a minute. Let's move along. I think this one's about another, let me think. We're going to zoom in. Thinking about it. That's about 42 inches, well I think. An older style Samsung, but it does still do full HD, it's still a nice unit. Let's have a look in the cabinet underneath that one. So, yet another Xbox 360. A Retron 5. I got that at the time thinking that would be the solution to me recording gameplay, and for all the retro consoles I've solved that subsequently without really using the Retron 5, to be honest, because I've now got a frame meister. But anyway, there you go. Other side, another Xbox One with a space above it. So there's plenty of space in these cabinets to add more HDMI type consoles. So it's sort of future proof for a couple more years anyway. So let's have a look in the corner here. There's Marcus Phoenix sat on the other floor standing speaker. Let's put on the top of this little 14-inch PVM. What have we got there? Rocket, Predator and Alien. pop vinyls. So let's come out here. 14-inch Sony, what is it? It's a PVM 1453MD model. And just below it, this is an old server cabinet. It was actually cream when I got it. Got it from an auction for an absolute pittance. It was pennies. I just knew at the time my Extron Crosspoint would fit quite neatly in it, and it had a glass cam at front. I quite liked it. So even though I like all my wires hidden everywhere, I do actually quite like the fact you can see the wires in the back of that. It looks like a proper server cabinet, you know. So, and the Crosspoint does generate lots of cabling. So let's have a look inside of this one now, shall we? It's worth pointing out, I finally got around to doing the can we see there all the stickers for the front of the Crosspoint, which makes it so much easier. So there's actually 12 consoles can be plugged in. I'm trying to think what isn't actually plugged in there. There's a few I still need RGB mods for certain consoles to be able to plug them in, but anyway, and there's 8 outputs underneath. Can we zoom in a bit more? See, there we go. It's going to do it. So Samsung TV on the left component, 14-inch PVM component, Toshiba 36-inch CRT component, and then 20-inch PVM component. So then the same for RGB outputs as well, with a final two outputs, sorry, is for the FrameMeister. We're talking about the FrameMeister. Can we see there it is underneath? XRGB Mini FrameMeister, which is a wonderful bit of kit. Nice for recording footage, and also for playing some of these retro consoles on a HDTV. Below that is a Nintendo Wii, which has been modded. So I can now play all the WiiWare titles in beautiful 240p on a PVM. Underneath that we have the GameCube with a Game Boy player underneath. That has the official Nintendo component cables, which I got reasonably priced from Lixang, I think, at the time in Japan. Unfortunately that website's long closed down, and now those cables are quite expensive, but anyway, but yeah, it is nice. Underneath is the other PS2, which is output via component. So all these in the server cabinet output by component, 12 to 4 TVs, with obviously with the Extron, which I might have seen in some of my older videos. I can do output the PlayStation to that PVM if I want, that telly and that PVM, or I can swap things around. It just basically allows me to play different games on, see what it looks like on a 14-inch PVM, or on a 20, or on a standard CRT. It's something I like to do. I like to play all these consoles. I'm continuously trying to get the best out of them, best pictures, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's just my little thing I like to do. I thought the Extron Crosspoint and my RGB component setup deserved to be shown a little bit better. So there's the 14-inch PVM currently displaying PS2 480i in component. That's the OG Xbox running MAME. With the PVM on the screen coming at Super Mario 64 on the RGB modded 64. On the modern TV, the FrameMeister is currently output at 720p. That is the GameCube. So I'll now try just show you how I change it around. So as I've seen already, I've got my little guide for each console. So now I can put the PS2 onto let me see, sorry, the middle console there, the Toshiba. So if I hit enter, you can see now it's also gone onto there as well. So vice versa, I can put the Xbox on the small PVM there, and there's the Xbox now running a small PVM. So I can also, if you look over there, I know the camera's tweaking, but I'm just trying to show you as best I can, make it as quick as I can. So now if I port the Super Nintendo, where's my little picture for that? Super Nintendo onto that other PVM, 20-inch RGB. Now if we look across there now, that's Castlevania 4 running on the other PVM. So finally, I should now be able to up, let me see, so if I port the PS2 onto the FrameMeister through component, do that, this telly should now, once it actually changes, thinks about it, should now change from what was the GameCube, is now outputting through the FrameMeister on that TV, the PS2. So it's really flexible. I can output all these different consoles, all the RGB component consoles on different screens if you want to do different things with them. That's all of it. And it's just great. I've turned all the sound off just for the bit so you can actually hear what I'm saying. So there you go. That's hopefully a better demonstration of how flexible and how good that Extron Crosspoint is for outputting the older 240p 480 stuff on the different monitors. So let's have a look. This TV, I actually bought one of these when they first came out. This isn't one of our TVs because that one actually broke. But this TV, you'd think it was made for this alcove. If there's a millimetre either side, it fits absolutely perfectly. But anyway, on the back of the alcove, I think that's from Bioshock Infinite, I think. Some little Nintendo skull guy, Mario. And can we see that then? That is from Lixan. Came free, one of my orders. It's a cat, Lincoln's Privates. Very Japanese. With a couple of little old sweet cases on front. And that's it's a lovely Toshiba 36-inch CRT. Really like that. It was a very expensive TV when it first came out, and it weighs a flipping ton. But what I like about it is it does RGB, of course, S-Video, of course, but also does components 480i. So it's quite strange in the UK to get TVs that do, or CRT TVs that do components. I quite like it for that reason. So underneath this then we have RGB modded N64 and a one-chip Super Nintendo. Currently on the middle shelf is a Halo Mega Bloks airship. My PC Engine Duo should go there, but it's broken. I think it probably needs a cap replacement. That's upstairs, sorry, in the loft, just for safekeeping, saving up to repair that one. And underneath is a hard modded Xbox with, I think, a 320 gig hard drive, lots of emulators, MAME, all sorts of things on this. So that's quite fun to play with, especially as it's linked up via component to the PVMs too. It looks really nice. So what have we got down here then? Venom. Apocalypse. What's he called again? I'm sure I'll get it wrong. Mojo, is it? And that guy, what's he called? I forget, anyway. Who can forget them two guys? Ryu and Ken. And the other side of this unit is Daredevil and the Wii U controller. So on that unit there is a 20-inch PVM, which is, can I see over the top of the camera? It is the 2053MD model. Underneath there we have UK Mega Drive, which has been modded so I can play Japanese games in 60Hz, as it should be, because the UK setting of 50Hz is far too slow and it's silly. Underneath that is a modded PlayStation. So I've only got one Japanese game at the moment, but my intention, when I finally satisfy all my hardware needs in this room, I'll finally start collecting some Japanese games. And there's the Japanese Saturn, which can we see has the action replay cart in the back, and the Nintendo Entertainment System, which again I would like to get RGB modded. That will have to wait. Let's have a spin around. Oh god, I've had that poster absolutely years. Who would have thought when I first bought that, because I liked it, I like the Thanos stories, that kind of thing. Who would have thought we'd eventually get a full Marvel Cinematic Universe set of movies, taking 10 years to film to watch it, but anyway, I still like the poster regardless. When I'm playing the games, this couch can be moved round. It's a 2-seat leather sofa, and it's like a lazy boy, so you can flick the handle at the side and lay down while you're playing. Not that I do that, because I prefer sat up, like most gamers probably do actually. So let's have a look. Anyone watching my recent videos will see this cabinet, sorry, this cupboard has finally been sorted how I wanted it. And this is where we store, let's have a look about all our controllers, arcade sticks, light guns. So let's start. Can we look up there? We've got yellow jacket at the top there, along with Ant-Man. So let's see if I can get the camera up there. We've got PS2 light guns. What's in there? Zapper, NES Zapper, and the Wii light gun. Then we've got I've got two GunCon 3s, which is fantastic, playing Time Crisis 4 and a couple of light gun games on the PSC. It looks absolutely amazing, really pleased with that. And I've got the Dreamcast gun and two Saturn guns. Arcade sticks, Mega Drive arcade stick. I've mentioned before, my intention is to eventually, for all these consoles, get two light guns and two arcade sticks for every console. That one we've got the NES Advantage, and behind there is a GameCube arcade stick. I love this one here. Tatsunoko versus Capcom arcade stick for the Wii. Looks just fantastic. Comes to the art a little bit there. Love that one. And I've recently got this one off my friend Ted. In the last pickups video you'll see. It's a Dreamcast arcade stick. That's a nice one too. Neo Geo AES arcade stick. Would love another one of those, but they're a bit pricey. Maybe eventually. Then you've got in there, you've got two Saturn arcade sticks. One at the back is a PAL one, which is okay, but the Japanese one on the front are much better because a micro switch is in. Then you've got PlayStation 1 arcade stick. And two arcade sticks, two Hori arcade sticks, which I have for the Xbox 360. Standard one there. Let's try and reach through at the back, see if you can see. The other one's a BlazBlue edition. Quite nice. I quite like them. Obviously not highest quality, but they do the trick. So now obviously just storage at the side. You've got Guitar Hero guitars, 3 of them. So the drawers are as follows. In there we have Dreamcast, Sega Saturn controllers. Got N64 controllers and a couple of extension leads for the controllers. And the back there, Atari 7800 controllers and paddles. I still need to repair that. My friend Ted gave me it. He said there's a sound issue after he's made a composite mod, so I need to look at that to see if I can get it fixed, because I'd like that one set up, to be honest. Then you've got Mega Drive controllers and my PC Engine controller. GameCube, NES, and a couple of other little things in there. Extension leads for the GameCube controllers. Then you've got multi-tap, SNES and Super Famicom controllers. You've got original Xbox. You've got 3 controllers. One of them is the Duke controller, I think, is that big lump there. And also the remote and other Xbox things in the back there. Lots of Wii motes and 2 Wii U Pro controllers. And can we see in the back there the Wii Arcade controller there? Moving on, I've got 2 official Panasonic 3DO controllers and 2 Retron 5 controllers, which it's absolutely terrible control, the Retron 5 controller, but anyway, I've got 2 of them in case I ever needed them. Moving down, got the 3.5 inch second floppy drive for the Amiga, an official Commodore Amiga mouse, official Atari ST mouse. You've got the Cruiser joystick and my favourite joystick, which is the Zip Stick. Love that joystick. This one we've got PlayStation Classic controllers, PlayStation 1 controllers, PlayStation 2 controllers, PlayStation 3 controllers, and one lonely PlayStation 4 controller. There's our Xbox One controllers, the spare ones anyway. We have Xbox One X's downstairs in the main living room, and my son has one in his bedroom, which we've got the Scorpio editions. So we've got those controllers downstairs. He's got the Elite. My son has always a very, very nice controller. So they're all spare ones for when friends come round for our Xbox One gaming sessions. And finally, Xbox 360 controllers, Lips microphones. That's probably the best one of the lot. It's what goes with the Star Wars Xbox 360 to C3PO controller. Really, really nice controller. That you might pick up fingerprints quite badly, but it's a lovely controller, that one. Looks really smart. So I'll finally pan around a little bit, as we said before. Like I've mentioned, I do like the rooms with people have boxes, all these things all built up on the sides, everything all over the walls, but I don't like clutter. So a lot of people might see rooms like this and think, oh, it's a bit bland. But I like it, it's bright, and it allows me and friends to come around. So like what we do frequently, I've got 4 Xbox One set up here, so we'll play multiplayer stuff. Our most recent games there, we played quite a lot of Xbox One multiplayer games, which is great fun. I've got 4 Xbox 360s in here, but I'm trying to think how many I've got in total. I think I've got about 10, might be even more Xbox 360. I've got a number of them set up in the other room. I just love the console, and I've had in the past I've had guys round. We had 8-player PGR4 tournaments. It's such good fun. So that's Games Room 1. We'll now have to move on to Games Room 2. So here we are, moving into games room 2. Once again, I'll close the door in case of shouty teenagers. I will cover the games. I'll go up and down the games in a bit, but I'll just look at the hardware here first. Once again, another comfortable 2-seater sofa. So let's move over here first then. Identical TV to games room 1, which once again, you'd think it was built for this little alcove. Got a couple of Halo Mega Bloks vehicles on top, and what's that? Gizawok keyring. So once again, it's a great TV. Xbox 360 there, which I use. Obviously I can play games on. It's not the best image because it's 480i, but in the past one of my older friends has used it. He's blind, so he didn't notice anyway. But it's also a DVD player, which I like to use. Middle slot, which has another Mega Bloks vehicle. Well, one day I'm determined to have a Laserdisc player there. We'll have to wait and see. And on the bottom is a VHS player. So let's move across here now. This is an old PC that I've got. It is quite old and it frequently crashes, which is quite annoying, but what I've got installed on there is all my good old games, GOG games, which I've purchased every single point and click adventure I used to have when I was younger, and also all the really old Forgotten Realms RPG games, that kind of thing. So I really like them. And these cabinets I got absolutely years ago, probably about 15 years ago more, which they're stacking with all the metal. You can store all sorts of things from Can-Am cabinets in Canada. Really expensive, but they're really well made. So let's have a look in these, shall we? So top one, these are all the multiple copies, predominantly 360 games, for when we're playing multiplayer gaming. So I've got like multiple copies of loads of different types of games. So I'll go slow so you can see some of them. And that's moved on to now some additional copies of Time Crisis 2 and 3 for 2-player, and obviously additional copies of some of the Xbox One titles so we can play multiplayer. That's what's in that one. Let's go the next drawer down. So in here, what's that one? That one is Atari ST games. Again, a lot of them are boxed, but the boxes are all stored in the loft, and it's a shame because some of them are really nice boxes, especially some of the Sierra 9 adventure games. But anyway, the Amiga games, and they're just like utility discs for Amiga and ST. What's that then? Well, that's for the PlayStation Classic. It's been soft modded. And yeah, we just got BNC connectors, a couple of sort of old SCART to HDMI converters, that kind of thing, spare memory card. And that is a Toro Dreamcast box, which I've got to put in because the box underneath it is the box for my old VGA box. The Toro is significantly better, so I've just got to get around to swapping that over, to be honest. Let's keep going. This is a sort of camera equipment. So there we've got our HD60S when we're recording. That is the Harpage in that box, which I don't think we'll ever use again. HDMI cables, then basic camera equipment. I don't really know what I'm doing with cameras. This is the only camera I use, and it's decent enough for me. Maybe I'll get better one day. So moving on. Oh, look at that! Everyone needs one of them. An air duster, great for cleaning old consoles. Spare VHS tapes, sockets, and that kind of thing. And finally, the bottom is our spare games. So on the very right hand side there is games which I need boxes for, that kind of thing. Then the rest of them are all spares. So these are what I tend to do is I'll get spares from local charity shops, that kind of thing. I don't resell them or anything. I tend to just give them away to my friends as and when they require them. So let me see, some decent spares. I've given loads away in the past. Everybody, start being more charitable. Pop that back in there. Let's move along. So, I recently got those. That was from my friend Jamie and Dan, the Button Bashers, which you should all watch their channel. It's ace. They know that they're some of my favourite games from when I was younger. Target Renegades, Space Quest 3 and Double Dragon. So they're just really cheap £2.50 frames from IKEA. Not the world's best, but they do the job, and I quite like them. Well, let's have a walk back so you can see a bit better. Optical illusion, but it's in the middle of the wall. Definitely, just that upright radiator mate looks like it's a bit wonky, but it isn't. They're all in the middle. So here's my sort of desk, computer desk, which I've got an iMac, which is quite new. still learning how to use it because I'm pretty clueless. That's an old Samsung 32-inch TV, which I've got again, one of my older videos. I've got this sort of computer bracket for it, so I can rotate that screen very quickly into Tate mode, which leads me on to this cabinet down here. So, well, first of all, PlayStation Classic is plugged into it. Quite a lot of good shooters on there. Some of them which you can play in Tate mode, which is nice. My second, it says it's an Olympus PVM, but it's essentially just a rebranded Sony 14-inch PVM, which does RGB component, everything else you can possibly imagine. And in the unit underneath, we have an Xbox 360, which is, again, it's something I like to do. It's plugged via component in 480i into that PVM, and you'd think, oh, 480i, it looks tremendous. It's a tremendous picture, and when you're playing some of the arcade style games like I'm trying to think, Fez or Super Meat Boy, that kind of thing, like retro style games, it looks really good on there. And above that is a modded Xbox 360, which again has some amazing Japanese shooters on. There you go. Plugged into that, which, as I said before, I can rotate the screen. It's absolutely fantastic when you do that. Let's move round to this side of the wall, which has more of the kit on it. So we'll start over here. That is another server cabinet. Inside is another cross point and a Kramer audio switcher. On top of that is a Sony 32-inch CRT, which you might think, that's a stupid way to store it, but it's in Tate mode, which I've got a, let me have a look in the top of this server cabinet. You might see I've got two Raspberry Pis. One of them is just purely for Tate games on this Sony CRT. The other one is just for MAME, which I play on the other PVM. So let's close that up. But yeah, it's let me think. I use something called an RGB Pi, which outputs RGB SCART in 240p, and on there it looks tremendous. Ignore the fact it looks stupid on its side. When you're playing the game you don't notice, and that TV's got cracking speakers on it, so it's a really good bit of kit and it looks excellent. Let's move along. So I've got two little quite powerful shelf speakers. I've got two more PVMs, 20 inches. Both of them are 20 M2 MG models. So that's that one there. And there's the other, another 20 incher. That's a 19-inch, really good quality CRT VGA monitor, which is a Vision Master Pro 454. It does HD settings and all sorts. It looks beautiful, some images on there. So that's up. At the minute, Neo Geo AES. Underneath that is, I'm sure it's a one chip, yeah it is, it's a one chip Super Famicom. Next we have, I'll go down first, that's our original Atari 520 SCFM from when we were younger. Still running quite nicely, absolutely love that thing. Above there, so the next three consoles I've got plugged into this monitor via VGA cables. So we've got the Dreamcast. Looks stunning in VGA. We've got the Nintendo Wii, which not a lot of people know, outputs 40p in VGA with well, I can't think of the name of the cable, but it looks really, really nice on there. It really does. And I've got an Extron VGA switcher underneath that. Xbox 360, which VGA cables look stunning on the monitor. And if I desire, I can plug an inline sort of scanline generator, which is really cheap to be honest, and it just makes some of the more retro style shooters look really good on that. I've got an Onkyo CD player, which also acts as the amp for those two speakers. How putting the various consoles on just sounds really good. I've got an Atari 500 Plus with a Meg upgrade in it. I do have an Atari 600, which is, it looks mint, looks really nice condition, and it's just small, it fits better, but it needs recapping. So it got like a purple tinge to its output, so eventually that's yet another thing I'm going to have to get fixed Underneath that is a Panasonic 3DO, the FZ1 model, which I bought on release. Yes, silly me, I spent about £450 on it when it first came out, but I've got a soft spot for it. A lot of people don't like it, but I just think some of the games in it are absolutely awesome. So that's Games Room 2. Whoops, it's Games Room 2, and on top of there, a couple more of the bigger Halo Mega Bloks vehicles. Right, that's the end of part 1. I did initially record it all, think I was going to do just one big video, but oh my word, it was about an hour and 30 minutes long. Too long for most people, I understand that. So I've recorded it in 2 parts. The first part, what you've just seen, is where I would consider all of our hardware, our gaming setup. So part 2, which I'll put out in a couple of weeks, will be our game collection, some which you can see behind us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.